Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I shall see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be relaxing as per usual, talking about whatever. See, I kind of want to talk about like the Switch Direct, the Switch 2 coming out, but then I'm like, what am I going to title this episode to make sure it's not misleading and people will not click on it being like, whoa, Animal Crossing New Horizons on Switch 2. No, that's not what this is. I'm sorry. This is just a video diary. I just wanted to kind of talk about it. So I guess maybe I'll just call it like next gen console or something which won't come up in the search terms. But anyway, hello everyone. Right now on Fawnhallow at 6:45 p.m. on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. I actually do have D&D today, and it's actually at 7. So this is sort of like awkward timing, where I was like, so it's starting in 15 minutes. Normally the episode's about 20 minutes long, so I might be like, I'll probably round it up a little bit short / be a little bit late. I don't know. Usually in this time I would at least be sort of like putting my last minute sort of prep together for D&D, like looking at stuff. But the thing is, for one, I don't actually know what this group is going to be doing. Like I know where they are, and you know, last session was a huge like unraveling of ideas and plans. So while things basically I think are going to be kind of improv based, because obviously the things that I planned out are like what they could see, what they could happen, what they could find out. But this session is like, okay, well I guess they as a collective, but it was very much just an unintentional, I'm sure, execution of the plan. So all that information which could have been found out could still be there, but the thing is, we didn't have a session last week, and at the end of the last session it was more just sort of reeling from them being like, I can't believe that just happened. So I don't really know what their plan is for this session. To be honest, that's kind of up to them to find out. My guess is that this is going to be a much more roleplay heavy session, with a lot more sort of conversations and discovery here and there. So I got like vague ideas of what will be going on, but even then there's nothing that solidified at the moment. So it's, yeah, I don't really know what to expect from it, is perhaps the best way I can put it. But anyway, I'm recording before the D&D session because I'm going to have even less time after the D&D session, it feels like. I generally like recording beforehand because otherwise I end up recording at like 11 p.m. and I'm like, I'm tired. I've just done like 3 hours of D&D. That's too much. It's not too much, but it's a lot to also do that and then immediately go and record an Animal Crossing episode. So yeah. How's the Fawnhallow coming along? It's slowly, like I did more of it yesterday, so like refined sketch is basically like done now. Like I'm not like super, I'm a bit conflicted about it. For one thing, I'm not a super fan of I'll try and keep it ambiguous, Dee's outfit, which is as it is at the moment. Like I feel like it's just missing something, or it's like not quite hitting the mark. I don't mean the Dee, the Animal Crossing villager you see in this Animal Crossing, like her outfit. I would say her outfit is like completely different from, not completely different, but it's like pretty different from the actual one, because the actual outfit is not something which can be recreated in New Horizons, I don't think. I mean, maybe I could with a custom design or something, but I'm like, I can't bother to do that. I'm also not sure why I put devil wings on. Now I'm looking at this, I don't even know why I put any sort of back thing on, to be honest, but it makes me wish we had Pocket Camp customization, because then if it may be a bit more doable, maybe not totally doable, but at least plausibly. So yeah, I think I think probably what we'll do is once I do release the Fawnhallow, I'll probably like change up this outfit to fit the vibe more than to actually try and recreate the outfit. Because this doesn't really fit the vibe. This is like some weird in between where I tried to do the vibe and tried to hit the outfit at the same time, but it really honestly did not work. Like this is not a good representation of it, I think. But oh well, what can you do? So yeah, Dee's outfit is like, it's not quite hitting the mark in the way I wanted. I think maybe it's because I didn't have such a clear idea. Well, no, I mean, I did have an idea. Yeah, the idea, as it happens though, did not quite like look as good as I thought it would. So now it's sort of like I need to like change it up a little bit. It needs to sort of shuffle things, you know. Oh, a friend just said we're going to be late for D&D. No worries, no rush at all. So it's a bit of a figuring out process where it's like, what is the right way to go about it? I have some ideas, but I'm just like, I don't know if it's gonna work way. Like, I think probably I'm trying to commit too weirdly in directions which don't necessarily make sense. I think that's why it's sort of like it's not hitting the mark. But I will say all the other like villagers and NPCs, I really like their outfits. Yeah, so that's coming along. Also, the background is a lot harder than I thought, because I'm like, I need to keep it, spoiler alert, I need to keep it quite a minimalist sort of background, because it's very character focused in this, and if I don't keep it minimalist, it's going to be insanely busy. But then like I did the sketch and I was like, this looks quite boring. If anything, it's like it's almost too minimalist. But I think maybe the colors might make it look less boring or something, or I need to do something a bit more creative. I have some ideas, you know. I was playing around with it last night, and now I woke up today and I was like, okay, I've got some better ideas, and I know like maybe I'll do some changes here and there to make it actually give some potential for what I want. Oh, I actually just came up with another idea. That's an interesting one. How curious. Anyway, so I guess there will be a little bit of experimentation with that before I decide really which direction that's going with. But yeah, what else to talk about today? Is that all the preamble I wanted? I think that's all the preamble I wanted. So I think we'll talk about like Nintendo Switch 2. There's a Nintendo Direct recently. I didn't actually watch the Nintendo Direct. I kind of forgot about it. I was meant to watch it, and then I was like, oh, wait, there's also the Switch 2 presentation today as well. If you don't know, there's the follow-on console to the Switch is coming out, which, you know, fair enough. It's because this Switch is like 8 years old, maybe? Nintendo Switch release date 2017. Yeah, 8 years old. So there's a second one coming out, and it does look like a genuine upgrade over the previous one. There are things I like the fact it's got like these magnets. I like the fact that the small things, like I like the fact that it's like a magnet instead of like the click-on thing, because the click-on thing ended up being really inconvenient a lot of the time. I like the fact that holding it sideways, the left and right buttons are bigger on the Joy-Con. The screen's bigger, cool. Higher frame rate, higher resolution, that's all good stuff. Nothing particularly crazy for me, because I don't really play on the handheld version all too often. I weirdly enough, I play through OBS because it goes through my capture card, and then like I capture it on OBS. So I don't even play using my monitor, which is the weirdest thing ever probably, but it works on me, so there's nothing wrong with that, I think. Yeah. What else was I going to say about it? I'm trying to think. What else was kind of cool? I mean, some of the games are kind of cool. Like, I am very much most excited for Mario Kart. 24 characters is crazy. Like, I know that was like teased or whatever, and I can't even remember what it was teased, to be honest. But I like that. I love the absolute clown fiesta that Mario Kart is. So suddenly got excited for that. Apparently, though, it's insanely expensive. It's a £75 game on release. That's crazy. I remember when I was like a child, like when the games, like the AAA titles, were always like £30 from release, and I was like, oh, that's so expensive. Like, having saved for £30, I'll just buy like smaller titles or whatever, which are like £15 or whatever. And then I remember, like, I can't remember what game it was. I feel like it might have been Super Mario Galaxy or something, but then like the craziness where it was like, whoa, this AAA title's releasing for £40. That's crazy. And now we're at almost, we double what I normally think of. I'm like, if you ask me now, what do I think like a AAA title game costs? My brain immediately goes £30, and then I had to think and be like, no, wait, it hasn't been like that for almost 2 decades. It's actually probably closer to £60 now or something. But yeah, that's crazy. About £75. Also, another thing, if we're going on all the negative things that we're talking about to begin with, I can't believe a tech demo is something out there you have to purchase. I don't know who's going to purchase that tech demo game. It very much feels like something which should be like a Wii Sports, where we just sort of bundle it in with the console together, and people will be like, whoa, cool, crazy. I guess it's meant, unless it's like 1-2 Switch, which 1-2 Switch is actually quite a fun party game, if gimmicky. So I don't know what's going on with that, to be perfectly honest. People were crazy hyped for Silk Song, because there's apparently been no news for ages, and then there's been absolutely no news for ages, and then now there is just like a 3-second demonstration in the Nintendo Switch Direct, which is pretty cool. I'm excited for it, if it'll actually come out. Hopefully. What else? I mean, June 5th is also when the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out, which is a lot sooner than I thought it was going to be. Like, I didn't realise it was going to be, like, this summer. This summer. In a world. I don't know, but stuff like that. There's a lot of other cool things, like Enter the Gungeon 2. I didn't know that was coming out, like, at any point, but apparently that is. And on the Switch, apparently it's 3D. That's pretty cool. I haven't really played much of Enter the Gungeon, so perhaps it's not to the same level of excitement that perhaps I don't have the same level of excitement other people might do for that. What else? What else was there? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. It's hard. I need like a thing which sort of like summarizes it. You know what? I think r/Nintendo, I bet they'll have something which has all the announcements. Donkey Kong Bonanza and Kirby Air Riders. Like, that's kind of cool. Neither of those are games I played, but those are before my time. Well, not Donkey Kong Bonanza, but because that's not a thing. But Kirby Air Riders, certainly a thing before my time. So I didn't really play it, I think. Kirby Air Riders. Actually, no, it did come out one for the DS, right? I didn't play it because, well, I don't think I had a DS back then. 2003, so I was 6. Oh no, I didn't have a GameCube, so that's why I didn't play it. I thought there was a Game Boy version. Maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza is kind of cool. I guess it's meant to be like a sequel to Donkey Kong Country. No, Donkey Kong 64. Makes sense. That's not a game I played, right? I was pleasantly surprised that Nintendo actually have online voice chat sort of feature. And streaming sort of feature as well. I think it's actually kind of cute that you can all play different games and then stream them to each other, sort of like online. I was like, that's a very sweet thing. I don't know if I'll ever do that, to be honest. Most of the time we'll probably be just like in Discord and then streaming one way or another, but I thought that was quite adorable. What else? What else was kind of cool? Oh, one thing I did notice though is I'm super surprised that in the actual trailer showing the online, they showed legitimately the online experience. So they showed like when you drop frames, they showed like the lower quality coming into higher resolution. Like they had like a presumably quite an accurate experience, like portrayal. They didn't just like overlay videos on top and like a video stitch them together. Which I was actually thoroughly impressed by, because I was kind of like, whoa, actually they're like showing probably a much more genuine experience. Rather than like, oh, you can stream across in 4K HD. Like, no, most people will probably just stream in like 360p or something at best. And it's not going to have like amazing 60 FPS. It's going to be like 20 FPS or something, webcam or depending on your connection. And I was like, you know, very true to life, fair enough. I got to respect that. What else is there? I mean, Mario Kart was kind of cool as well. I was surprised it was like open world was an interesting way to go about it. I like the concept, by the way, of they have a Grand Prix where you just like finish one race and go like straight into the map of the other. Feels like it might be a bit long though. I was super surprised Elden Ring was coming to the Switch. I was like, what? I guess the Switch 2 is powerful enough to actually run some of these AAA games, so I just looked away from my mic. Pre-order is April 9th. That's in a week's time. What else? Legend of Zelda. Yeah. Renewal of Nintendogs on February 7th, 2025. That could be fun. I played a lot of Nintendogs. I didn't actually own the game. It's more like a family friend had it because I didn't have a DS at the time. Played a decent amount of it. I don't know also why I'm speaking at about 1 million miles per hour. That's slow your roll. Calm down. Those the Dusk Bloods, which people seem pretty hyped about. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like, oh, I was pretty hyped about most of it, and when I saw the price, and I was like, that is really quite expensive. Yeah. What else is there? Kirby and Forgotten Land? Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool. I haven't actually played much of the Kirby games after Kirby Superstars. Hyrule Warriors, Street Fighter 6. I was surprised at how many games were being released on it though. So I guess the interesting part is how much more powerful it is if it can actually run these games. Not to the highest quality, I don't think, compared to like a gaming PC, but you know, good enough to run it is surprising. Oh, Dragon Drive, that was a really interesting one. Which basically kind of looked like the arms of a Switch. I think that's a great description of it, random Redditor. Where it's basically, you know, they released a Switch, let's make a game based around these controls and show what you can do with it, and they made a fighting game ARMS, and I was like, that's kind of cool. Never played it, but I was like, I like the concept. So they had Dragon Drive because the Switch 2 has, if you haven't seen it, you can basically use the Joy-Cons as a computer mouse. You can sort of drag along a platform, a surface and do something like that. I can see my friends are in the D&D channel already, so I better hop over there pretty soon, but I want to finish this trailer for. And I was like, this is really cool, like actually very cool to use like a wheelchair control scheme to actually control your character. Very sort of like representative as well, and like I'm sure that's not something people see very often in games. But like you actually like had to spin the wheels in the way which makes sense as if you were like in the wheelchair. So it's basically wheelchair basketball, and I was like, that's creative. You know, genuine interesting use, I think, of it. My only complaint about this game, though, is why does it look so dull, if anything? It's like Nintendo is such an amazing company at bringing such like joy, life, and colour and interesting visuals to things. I mean, look at ARMS. Look how silly and chaotic and goofy it is, and how iconic its visual style is. Dragon Drive has a very, very muted, it almost looks like apocalyptic style. So it's sort of like it seems like it's going to be a game where it's like, oh, I respect what they were going for. I can't imagine it popping off though like that, which is a shame, because I feel like if it had a different like paint of coat over the top of it, it could be kind of cool. And I would certainly hope at least that the control scheme has alternatives to not just using a mouse system. But maybe it was just meant to be a tech demo to begin with. I have no idea. But I say, as a concept, it's kind of cool, and I respect Nintendo for doing interesting concepts like that. Anyway, on that note, I guess I'll round this episode up here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.